All right, guys, welcome to a new episode of the Type 1 Lifting Podcast. I have a very great guest. He's a fellow Type 1 diabetic. He is a business owner he's a co-owner of 4Time UK. Toby Buckland, how you doing?
It's all right.
Sorry, I caught you mid-drink.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for taking the time and having me on.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I saw you on Instagram, and for some reason, I think I clicked on your profile and I saw like Type 1 diabetic, and I was like, oh, okay, here's another diabetic in the CrossFit space. Love it. Gotta instantly follow you. So I love your story of, you being a diabetic, and you're pretty, you're a very good athlete in the CrossFit space, very good athlete. And also you have a business. So that's why I kind of wanted to get you on the podcast. And so, especially with all, the main question I have is, since you're in the UK and I'm in the States, I don't know if the girls in the UK do this too, but during the fall season, are they like obsessed with like pumpkin everything?
No, we have a different culture over here. No, we have a different culture. It's too expensive to go out to Starbucks and get any kind of pumpkin spice stuff going on. It's too expensive. But I know in America it's big over there, isn't it? The whole kind of pumpkin spice season, and
Yep.
everyone's on that bandwagon.
Yeah. My wife's obsessed with it. So anytime when like one leaf falls, it's just like, all right, let's get pumpkin stuff. And I'm like, it's not even October yet. Just wait. Just give me a second.
No, I like my coffee too much just by itself. I don't need to add any pumpkin to that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just like very little milk, if that, no sugar, just nice and dark.
Yeah, definitely. I say people that add milk to their coffee don't actually like coffee; they just like milk. But yeah, no, definitely just black coffee and get on the day.
Awesome. So you're a fellow diabetic. So I always talk to the people that I interview that are diabetics. Like, how did that whole tell me your story of how you became a diabetic.
Yeah. So when I was so before I was turned 15 years old, so I was 14. Around kind of Christmas time, New Year time, kind of just feeling a bit run down, feeling all right, kind of got through that New Year period.
Mm-hmm.
And then from sort of January through till February, I lost, I'm trying to think of pounds, probably about 30 to 40 pounds.
Damn.
Which it was about 15 kilos. So 35 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Which when you're a 15-year-old kid, I was playing like rugby full time. So I went from kind of being like a good rugby player to just ill basically and injured the whole time and sick. And then, just like as we said before you started, like just the constant drinking water,
mm-hmm.
needing to go to the toilet kind of 10 times a night, just like constant exhaustion. Doesn't matter how much you eat, like the energy doesn't come. And and then went to a hospital, diagnosed, and then discharged that night or the night after. And then that was when I was 15. So 23 now. So 8 years down the line.
Oh, same time as me. So
yeah, still not getting any easier.
No. So is anyone in your family? Is anybody in your family have diabetes?
No, there's no history of it. I'm the first one. First gen.
That's crazy because same with me too. I'm the only person in my family that has diabetes. It's insane.
Yeah, it's I think I don't know whether it's becoming more and more common or what the trend is, but there's definitely more and more people I meet now who are diabetic for sure. I remember I worked in Australia for a year, and when I was at the school there, like in my school, I was the only one really. I mean, maybe there was someone else, and there was probably like 1,000 kids at the school, or maybe just under that. And in Australia, it's like maybe there was a dozen to kind of nearly 20 kids, which for a similar amount of people, maybe 1,000 kids again.
Yeah,
seemed like a lot to me, but I'm not sure what it's like in the States.
Yeah, it's getting more and more rampant for some reason. So I've noticed. So, but the crazy thing is I read a stat, I think it was like last year, that the 60% of new onset diabetics get it after they're 30. And so,
really?
And I was like, and it's like typically like, you would think, somebody be like, oh, how old are you when you got diabetes? Like, was it juvenile and stuff like that? And it's like, I hear, and you know what's even me being in the military, um, I actually have like a couple other people, like prior military, but I've actually had like five of the people I know that got diabetes after they quit the military too. So I don't, I don't know what's going on over here, but it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I've heard the kind of the rule of sevens, right? Where it's like 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Those are like kind of when the
Changes
autoimmune
happen.
conditions, things can happen. So like, I mean, I was 14, you said you were 35. It's kind of weird it happens that way. I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's just an old wives' tale or not, but
I don't know that I've never heard of that one. That's it. It's
you
definitely,
know not.
I've heard of the sevens, but I didn't really like put it two to two together for like diabetes or anything like that.
Yeah, just kind of any, I don't know, weird it's obvious as to why, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So when you got officially diagnosed with diabetes, so how did your family like manage it? Like, were they like what were they doing throughout the whole process of you being a diabetic now?
Yeah, so I mean, I got a scholarship to go to a private school in the UK, which is the equivalent of, well, basically you live away from home, so you're living at the school the
Mm,
whole school year. So I was quite independent anyway, or like to think I was. And so I remember like when I first went to hospital, it was just me by myself in the hospital, and then yeah, my mum drove down. We kind of sorted it out. I was there for a few days and headed back to school. So it was never kind of a process of um, like introducing my family to the care of how I thought I was managing it at the time, kind of thing. It still is really just learning on the fly and making mistakes and kind of adjusting to it.
yeah, yeah. So do your parents like have any like times they say like, "Oh, are you allowed to eat this?" or, "Can you eat this?" Like, do they ask you that question once in a while, or even your relatives?
No, my mum used to be a nurse, so she roughly like she knows what's going on. But I remember
Okay.
I was literally diagnosed like a week before my birthday, and my mum kind of I don't know, she was quite emotional at the time, obviously, and it got to my birthday and she like bought a massive cake and then she'd had a meltdown because she was like, oh my god, like why I'm such a bad like I've then do you know what I mean? Just it was just a nightmare and you're sitting there like I'm not that bothered, like it is what it is. But yeah, I mean I kind of underestimated potentially how much that put my mum through probably, like looking back on it now.
Oh yeah.
But like I think I mean if one of your kids is diagnosed, right, you'd probably be pretty gutted and it'll be interesting to I don't know whether because we're both first generation diabetics, right? Whether it stays in the genetics or not, or how it works. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, so
Hopefully not.
yeah,
Hopefully not.
yeah, cross my
Yeah,
fingers definitely. But
yeah.
yeah, with my kids, so there's one's 7 and one's 4. I've already said before, but yeah, I always get concerned. I'm like, are they going to become type 1 diabetics like later on? And I guess supposedly, I don't know if this is true. And I should have gotten the numbers before this, but like after you hit like a certain age, like it's less and less of a chance for them getting diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And I guess they did a blood a test with my son and daughter to see if they have like the gene to get diabetes. And so far, no, but I'm like, you never know. They might get sick one day and, the white blood cells attack their pancreas and you never know.
Yeah. You never know what's going around nowadays.
Yeah, it's
Well,
crazy. But so have you
just,
been
yeah.
stably managing your diabetes and everything?
Uh, Stable is probably the wrong word. So I constantly have hypoglycemia, so low blood sugar. Which I mean, I function like I still do a lot of things, but a lot of the time, when my girlfriend, well, I've been living with my girlfriend kind of for the past 3 years. I'm now not living with her. I'm at university here and she's with her parents. But yeah, a lot of the time of those last 3 years, she's having to pick me up off the floor most days,
Jeez.
which is, again, probably one of those things where I kind of underestimate how much of a toll I'm putting someone through. But no, she's good. She's been great with it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for my wife because she has to deal with like everything. Like I'm driving in the car and all of a sudden, like for me, when I get lows, my eyes start twitching. They skip a beat so they can go from like the left hand side to the right hand side and like just stop and then go to the next one. And I'm like, okay, I need to pull over, and you need to drive. And she looks at me like, it can get frustrating for them, and I feel bad. I'm like, but what am I going to do?
Yeah, you try. Yeah, I mean, we say we're trying our best, right? But yeah, they seem to know what's going on before I do.
Yeah. So
She
do
yeah,
you
she
get
recognizes it a mile off before I do.
yeah do you get any mood swings or anything like that?
Uh, not when I'm low. Like low blood sugar, I don't really get any mood swings. I'll just be weird, really. Like yeah, just be weird. Like a bit zoned out. My facial expression kind of changes. But yeah, I mean, not necessarily mood swings. Just like instant kind of fatigue, basically. And then with high blood sugar, I tend to get quite like aggravated and like a bit frustrated at things, basically.
Hmm. Yeah. So obviously, being a diabetic, it's a numbers thing. So
Yeah.
do you get frustrated when you get like really high all the time, and like how do you manage it, or you just kind of like, yeah, it is what it is, and I'll just change it when it happens.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really have a problem with going high for me. Like, isn't really it just happens. Like, it just doesn't happen very often. Like
Hmm.
I'll go above. Trying to think of your units. It's like 18, so above maybe 180, maybe like 2-3 times a week, depending on what I'm doing. So yeah, it's not that's not a problem with me. It's just trying to basically get through the day each
Hmm.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
So it always seems to be kind of going low. So it's just about constantly kind of getting food in. But yeah, I try not to get too frustrated. Maybe she's got a different story if you ask my girlfriend,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, otherwise it's all right.
yeah. So, do you wear like a CGM or anything like that?
Yeah, so over the kind of the last 2 years, I got a Novo Nordisk continuous blood glucose monitor. Yeah, and again, I'm not unsure how it works in the US, but we through the NHS basically my blood sugar was going so low so often that the NHS sorted me out one out for free. So I've been on that for since basically.
Okay. So,
So yeah.
where do you put it?
Oh, so I have it on the
Oh,
back. I
okay.
don't know if you can see it
Yeah, yeah.
here. It's on the back of my arm there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had the Freestyle Libre for a while, and like my problem was the jumps between blood sugars were just too high for me that I couldn't handle it. So there would be like one time to be like 120 points. Well, 120 points off from where I checked my blood sugar, and so I'm like, I can't really trust that. And so they gave me the Dexcom, whatever that little it's like a better one
Yeah,
supposedly
yeah, I've
that
heard.
connects to your phone. So I've been using that for a while, and I love it, And so the only problem is with that is they want to put it in like next to your belly, but like since I work out, I'm like or do like bar muscle ups, and I'm like I don't want to hit it and knock it off.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of kind of things on my skin or on my body. But yeah, I think those continuous blood glucose monitors, whether you have I don't know the Dexcom or the Freestyle Libre, they've probably changed my life
Hmm.
quite like drastically with the because obviously as you know like with the when you finger prick test, there's no awareness of kind of the direction in which that blood sugar is going. So it does make a big difference, and it has changed my management of diabetes hugely. Um, so yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I'm still since I've been sick, it's been like a work in progress. Like I've been up to like the 300s and staying like 300s throughout the whole night, like really, really high. And I'm at the point I'm like, what's better, staying up and taking insulin or just sleeping? So it's almost to the point I'm just like, I'll just
Yeah,
sleep for right now.
yeah,
But
yeah. Illness is a funny one with it, isn't it?
yeah,
With what
it
it can do, and
sucks. But anyways, so I kind of want to since I saw you on Instagram with you doing CrossFit, so how did you get involved with CrossFit?
yeah. So at school, I was always kind of athletic and well, athletic. I was always into my rugby and took that very, very seriously. And like every other CrossFitter, I'm uber competitive. And when that kind of basically when I didn't get the contract to be a professional rugby player, I then spent a year coaching abroad. And then when I came back, just kind of had a void of competitiveness. I didn't want to do rugby. I was burnt out from it. I didn't make the
Mhm.
contract. I was like, well, I'm not going to be professional. So let's move on. And then my mates were just going to the local CrossFit gym, said you should come along. And then, like every classic story, first workout was Fran. And then yeah, it was a good awakening for sure.
Yeah. How long did it take? Do you remember how long it took you?
No, it would have been strict. It would have been around 7, 8 minutes, I think.
Were you like dead on the floor after?
Yeah, I remember it was again like it's you go up every CrossFit gym, the shutter doors are open. The coach was there. The coach was doing the workout with us, topless, and he was obviously shredded and but like doing butterfly pull-ups, and you're just like your mind's blown, and you're trying to do strict pull-ups, and yeah, it was a rough feeling. I think I was so slow, it didn't actually hurt that bad either. Like it was just awful, so slow.
Yeah, you're doing like sets of 5 on the strict pull-ups and then like taking a breather, then like doing it again.
Yeah, if that, yeah.
Very cool. So when did you realize, that like you're like, hey, I kind of want to make this into like, maybe go pro or like, be one of the elite athletes?
I'm still weighing that up really. Because obviously it's tough, right? You're even right until even if you make the games, is there's not a guarantee of financial reward. And
Hmm.
at some point, like no matter how much you love something, you do need to live. You do need to like earn money, and it's different for some people, right? Like some girls that train at the gym, they have their food provided and their sponsors provide X, Y, and Z, and it's different for each person. But yeah, so I've not really decided. It's now I'm at university for 3 years, or this is my last year. It's kind of that's provided me a buffer to because we basically get a student loan over here, so the government pays you X amount of money a year. So I'm basically living off that, not spending any money elsewhere, part-time job, and just dive into CrossFit really. But it will see what happens in the next 12 to 24 months. Hopefully, I can make that jump.
Yeah. So you were at the French Throwdown, and what was that whole like environment like for you being at like what like seeing all these like CrossFit like these like European CrossFit athletes and everything like that and like actually do like going head to head with those guys?
Well, it was different, right? So I get a bit of stick for this, but I wasn't in the elite field at French Throwdown.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. There's a bit of stick. Um, yeah, so I was actually competing in the RX field, which is the one below, because I've not really competed that much, and I can go on with a list of excuses. But I basically had a lot of work commitments around the time. Had like a 60-hour work course going into the French Throwdown, so it was a bit of a different environment, a bit of a different atmosphere, and it was I wanted to go there with obviously the intention of winning and like learning how to win, because I think that my thought before it was that a lot of CrossFitters, even perennial, games athletes, there's a difference between, going to the games and learning how to keep the lead and
Hmm.
competing and being like a top 10 games athlete as it is to just going and getting some pictures taken. Which sounds a bit like everyone who goes to the games, right? They're incredible athletes, but there's obviously a massive jump 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. And I think it's a different mindset game. It's a different approach to everything if you're going there to win versus going there just to compete.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to slag off any games athletes. Obviously, they're insane what they do. But there's even, you can even see people at the games this year, the bottom 10 athletes who are just kind of surviving from the get go.
Hmm. Yeah, and some of them obviously like they go to the games merely for maybe getting an extra sponsorship or something like that, or obviously like taking pictures. Like even Dave Castro, I believe, said that like you know you're here for the games to win. Like something you have some other people that are here just to take a picture or whatever and just kind of be here. And like I obviously like if I was at the games, I want to win that. I want to win that bitch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I'm not there yet. When I get there, maybe I'll have a different opinion and be like, well, look, these guys are good. Let's just go and survive. But I mean, if I was given that situation now with how naive I still am, I would say, yeah, let's go there and try and win it
Yeah,
for
yeah. So,
sure.
so what was the whole what was like the whole competition like for you, especially being a diabetic? Your numbers probably would have like been all over the place. And how did you handle that throughout the whole process?
It was actually it was really smooth to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it, it was great. eating lots of carbs, burning lots of carbs. Like it just seems to be like an in and out equation, really. The only time I had a hiccup was maybe before like a max lift event. I was having low blood sugar. It's a good event for me, so like I'm a stronger guy in CrossFit. So before a max lift event, it would have been worse maybe if it was a different kind of style event. But I knew that I could take my time, get some honey in or fast carbs, warm up a little bit less, and go out. So that was the only kind of hiccup. But otherwise, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Okay. So when you get low, you see you just typically take honey or anything like that, or do you just have like
Just
glucose tabs?
yeah, just fast carbs, Lucozade, honey, uh, just dried mango, any kind of just fast sugar really. Um, honey's pretty. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Like
Yeah.
drinking honey is quite it's quite a lot to take on, but
Yeah.
when you need it, you need it, I guess.
Yeah. I typically go for like the Sour Patch Kids, like the sugar, like, gummy things. I just like take a couple of those and I'm like, okay, I feel a lot better after I take those. But it's like, there was one time I was low and I had like a whole bunch of pretzels and it just did not sit with my stomach whatsoever. I was like, this was so stupid, so dumb.
Yeah, and it's a balancing act, right? What your stomach can handle, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then again, like sometimes when I'm having a low, right, like when my girlfriend's dealing with I don't know if I'm passed out on the floor pretty much, she'll come up come up with me like a with a like an entree of 4 or 5 different sources of carbs, and
Hmm.
in that moment of all moments, that seems to be when I get super kind of picky with what I want and what I don't want, which is hilarious, right? Because I'm totally out of it. Like I can't even remember what I've eaten 5 minutes from then. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah. So obviously you said you were in uni. So what is your training schedule like? We're going to school and, trying to, at least try to get up there in the levels.
Uh, yeah. So it's I basically I prioritize I try and prioritize my training in the business first, and then I coach at a CrossFit gym. That kind of comes next, and then my university is really on the back burner.
Hmm.
So I only go into university once a week, but I coach 3 times a week, and then other bits and bobs on the side like running the business, training, and yeah, things like that. So it's all right. I mean, it's like every other CrossFitter, right? Train 6 days a week, twice a day is what it is. Everyone's roughly doing the same things nowadays. But yeah, it's just managing that around that. It's just kind of every day packing about 10 kilos of food to drag along with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too bad. I'm getting used to it. I'm better being busy than not busy.
Hmm. Hmm. So you said you were a CrossFit coach. So do you kind of do some like quick training sessions like in between classes or anything like that?
Yeah, so I just started a new gym in Birmingham, which is been super accommodating to what I want to do and how I want to do it. And so
Hmm.
they'll they'll schedule me in for lunchtime classes, give me a 1 to 4 hour break, and then I'll be in the evening classes. So they're yeah, from day one they said, look, we're going to schedule in some training time for you so you can train between classes. So I can't really complain too much of there.
Okay, awesome. So
Yeah.
obviously you being a coach, like everyone has different training methods or different ways of like coaching athletes. So how do you coach the clients at that gym?
Yeah, so I mean, it's good question. So my degree is in strength and conditioning, and like I'm interested in that, and I could talk all day about why you should be doing X, Y, and Z. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, for a lot of these people, they're just kind of general population. They just want to get moving. They want to stay healthy. And so I could critique their split jerk or their snatch all day or their proficiency on burpee box jump overs, but
Hmm.
like I could say it all day, but they don't really give a shit, right? Like they
No.
just want to get in, sweat, go home, feel good about themselves, and so you have to take that approach. Like if they are interested, I'll give them the info. If they're not, like it doesn't matter. I'm not too fast. Just move.
Yeah, I've,
So
I've
yeah,
I've come to realize about that. They just want to get slammed on the floor and then all of a sudden just like go home and do whatever and like have a couple like pints or something like that after.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, right? They, especially the early morning people as well. Like they've been coming in early morning for 2, 3 years, and whatever goals they had, maybe they haven't achieved it, but they're still getting up at 5 a.m. for a 6 a.m. class, ending themselves, and having like a full day of work. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's impressive. But yeah, just sometimes you just got to leave it with them, I think, and just let them do their own thing.
Yeah, that's me. So I get up at like 4:20 in the morning, and then I have to get up at like I get to the gym around like 5 o'clock and just work out for like an hour and a half or like 45 minutes, depending how much time I have, because I have a 9 to 5 job and I got kids I need to take care of, and I'm not gonna work out at night because that's like spending time with the family. So it's just like you gotta get it in somewhere.
Yeah, how long are you sleeping for?
Uh, I go to bed at 10 and I wake up at 4:20, so like 6 hours.
Geez, yeah, I wish I
Yeah.
could function on
Well, I mean, on the weekends, I typically sleep in, so I probably just like wake up to like 8:30, 9 o'clock or something like that, and then kind of go to bed at like 10 or 11. So I kind of I mean, there's been a couple times I've slept for like 12 hours on the weekends. I'm trying to catch up, but that's I mean, I got to make do. I mean, obviously, I need to sleep, but I want to work out too, so it's like I got to have a happy medium.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I wish I was that brave. I mean, that's the one thing that won't shift for me really is kind of no matter how busy I am, even if it gets to 9, 10 o'clock, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I go on. Like I'm going to bed. I'm sleeping.
Yep, 10 o'clock is a shut off time. I'm like, okay, I'm done. See you. Good night. I'll
Yeah,
see you later. So, I mean, there were times I used to go to bed like 8:30, and it just didn't help out with my, my relationship with my wife, because she's like, you're literally going to bed at 8:30 at night and spending no time with me. So what's going on? You can't be doing this.
yeah, yeah. Maybe not. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's why the 10 o'clock is just like, I'll leave at 10. She's like, you don't want to go to bed until like 11. I'm like, for what? I mean, like we're gonna watch TV. It's like
yeah. That's the
I
thing,
don't
right? That's the thing is you stay up later, but you're not actually achieving anything. You just, especially now, my girlfriend's not living with me, right? It's just I'm just downstairs binging TV, so it's not too productive.
yeah. So do you have any like favorite shows you like watching right now?
I've uh I've just started watching Breaking Bad from the start again,
Okay.
which is just as good the second time around.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Any other ones at all, or
Uh, dabbling, I just good TV. Just I dabble in a bit of Drive to Survive. Just started that. Just yeah, just something to switch my brain off. Really.
yeah, I watched that series, the Drive to Survive one. Loved every minute of it. It's insane, like how laser focused those guys are in, and like any like split second they could just pretty much you know die.
Yeah, like I think about how bad of a driver I am, and like I would I would not last long in one of those for sure.
Yeah, I hear you. So, you said you actually own a business and you're wearing the shirt of your business, so for time. So, how did you start this company?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So yeah, Full Time Fitness is the name of our company. We started about a year ago officially now. And to be honest, I wish I could take credit for it, but it's all my girlfriend. So she her kind of whole family background since she was like 8 years old, like they sit down at the table and they talk about business, and they've all in there. She's got four siblings, three siblings, there's four of them, three siblings. And like I remember going around hers when we were younger, and the dad would be at the top of the table talking about, okay, how's your business going? How's your business going? How's your business going? Yeah, my business is doing this. And it was just such a foreign world to me.
Hmm.
And it still kind of is. I've no background in business. And then, so she was working under one of her family's businesses. And then she started CrossFit kind of 2 years ago now, ordered a pair of gymnastics grips, thought like they're just the worst. Like they're badly designed, badly fitting, don't work, like just unfunctional. She's like we can do these better, surely. So yeah, so she wanted to launch a business and do that. So she kind of runs all the business side of it, and I run all the kind of product development side of things. So yeah, it took us a while. So we started that in start 2020, kind of started to get things going ish. Yeah, it took us about 12 months. We went full circle on products and gymnastics grips basically. And then, yeah, we launched in, yeah, October, November 2021. So yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. So I know you say you do gymnastic grips. I know you do a couple other products too. What are the other products you guys have?
Yeah, so at the moment we just do gymnastics grips is our product. So we do what do they call it? 2-finger, 3-finger, fingerless gymnastics grips. So it's three products of the same. It's three variations of the same product.
Hmm.
And then we also do sweatbands because it seems everyone in the CrossFit space just loves merch and accessories. So they go quite well. And then again, these t-shirts, we don't even stock these t-shirts. It's just again an addition to the kind of brand building and merchandise side of it. But yeah, in the next kind of 2 to 6 months, we're bringing out some new products which we're excited for.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So obviously, like,
Yeah.
the gymnastic grips are pretty much like a pretty saturated market. What have been some of like the successes that you've done so far with the company?
Yeah. So in comparison to what's on the current market, we think we're kind of taking the best bits of all of them. So for example, we've used grips in the past that have been okay, they're super grippy, but they tear after a week. And
Hmm.
there are some that, last 3 years, but you have to add half a bucket of chalk every time you use them.
Yep.
And like it's pretty crazy, right? And people are so loyal to brands in the CrossFit space, or and people like to spend a lot of money on things, which is crazy too. Like so we've got basically a lower price gymnastics grip. It lasts way longer. We can put a lot of volume through them. The people that use them aren't small people and they aren't doing low volume. And they seem to last 3+ months. They're super grippy, right? So just taking all the best bits of both, and then from there, like our further gymnastics grips will kind of specialize more into okay, these are going to be super grippy, or these can be super durable and that kind of stuff. So yeah, the success story is kind of we've just trying to take the successes of every other brand and build them into one. Like there's only so much you can reinvent the wheel with, and so it's not about kind of creating something brand new and flashy and no one's ever seen this before. It's just taking the best designs from everything and putting them into one.
Yeah. I agree with that because like trying to reinvent the wheel it doesn't really work all the time. So it's, it just makes something like that's simple, easy, and someone could actually
Actually,
like, handle it and like, be like, oh, okay, this is grippy or this is cool, and they'll love it forever. So
yeah, definitely. And like I don't know about what it's like in the US with the price range, but in the UK, obviously the brands like Victory Grips and Bear Complex and trying to name any other brands, but people are spending kind of 50, 60 UK pounds on them. So, 60, $70 on them. And it's just, and there's no guarantee that they're going to last. There's no guarantee they're going to get on with them, all that kind of stuff. And it's crazy to us really. But
mhm.
yeah, I mean, we're filling that void, and actually we'll be, I'm not sure if this podcast will come out or when it will come out, but we should be launching on Amazon US in the next week or
Oh,
two. So
nice.
that'll be exciting. Yeah, we'll be able to launch on Amazon US and get the products in America.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, there's I've reached out. Well, I've talked to a bunch of other like grip companies that are like starting out too, and it's like I think Amazon is probably like the best way to go because you're going to get more recognition and stuff like that.
Yeah, Amazon's it's a crazy environment, and it's its own kind of ecosystem of businesses. And there was a movement I remember about a year ago, like don't support Amazon. It's all big business, all this kind of stuff, which is crazy because it's almost the exact opposite, right? It's
Hmm.
small businesses just trying to get a great amount of footfall. It's a lot more challenging. There's a lot more challenges to create your own website, try and get traffic there and convert the sale than it is to just go on Amazon, rank highly, and get the footfall that way.
Yeah, that's kind of like for me because I started a Shopify account like a couple years ago for my t-shirt company, and it's like I was paying like 35 bucks or whatever like a month every single month, and it was great in the beginning because I was getting a lot more sales and stuff, and now it's kind of like teetered off, so I'm like pretty much just like throwing money out into like nothing to Spotify.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that was that was one of the intentions. Was so my partner, her background is through Amazon businesses, so
Mhm.
managing and running Amazon businesses that are linked to her family, basically. And so she knew the kind of potential that Amazon has with any kind of business. But on the other kind of the dark side to that is you can create a brand on Amazon that's just faceless and has no kind of brand values, and you can change the price tomorrow, today. You can stop this product, stop that product, bring a new product out. Like there's no accountability to the brand, and no one's really behind it. You just, for example, she runs teeth whitening, and it's like no one actually cares, right? You're not going to get like a loyal teeth whitening brand. It's just they just look at the review, they want the sale, or vice versa.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's cheap. It's the cheapest one for her to be. I'm going to order it. And so we're intentional to launch the brand first, to try and get some backing behind the brand. People like the brand, and I don't know you, but also some of the brands in the CrossFit space, just their kind of their aesthetic, or their what they think looks good, is crazy to me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. People buying shoes with donuts on it. And yeah, I mean, so we're intentional with kind of trying to make it a cool brand, trying to make it stylish, and then going on Amazon after that.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I love that. I love that. How you doing it? So, are you doing it all through? Obviously, you probably all doing it through social media first, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all of our traffic really comes through social media. We're not so. Uh, yeah, all our traffic comes through social media,
Yeah.
basically.
I need getting a lot of feedback from social media.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We have feedback every day. People tagging us, people saying this, people saying that, and we're really vigilant with it. And we're intentional to reply and give feedback, and we actually take feedback on very, very seriously, because obviously at the end of the day, there's only two of us running it, right? So it's either going to go to one co-founder or the other at the moment. So it does go to us, and we take it very seriously. With even people sending us like, this new product's come out, could you do something similar, or what's this technology they've just seen? And yeah, it's an interesting space, because yeah, you're never gonna, again, go back to reinventing the wheel. Like CrossFit gymnastics grips aren't ever going to be top of the food chain in a materials
No.
science market. We're not ever going to be the first to a material, the first to a product. We'll probably be 3, 5 years down the line. And so when someone brings out a new product, or a new style of grip, or there's all these kind of plastic based grips, like chloroprene based with Sky Hill and Stamina Fitness, and all these kind of plastic grips coming out at the moment. And I know those are getting a great response, and we're going to plan on kind of developing those over the future, basically.
Mhm.
So we do take our feedback on seriously, and yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun at the moment. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah. So, have you ever tried those rubber grips?
The rubber ones,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Which what brand?
So, I think they're from Element 26. So it's literally like I bought them. I was not a big fan of them because the grips were so thick, but the pro like it's rubberized. So the bar, if you put any chalk on the bar, you're like slipping right off. But if there's no chalk on the bar, you're staying right on. But the problem is like you're literally holding a tire in your hands around the bar. So you have like another like a centimeter or whatever of distance between your hand, your palm and the bar. So you have to, create a better grip on the bar, and you actually get better grip strength just even handling those grips.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is you can create the best product if it's in an environment of X, Y, and Z, or
Hmm.
there's so many like nuances to it, right? But at the end of the day, Karen from the gym, who is her fifth CrossFit class, has been told to buy this pair of grips. Just she doesn't care. Like she just wants to put them on. They need to be easy to use. They need to be effective. And so again, we're as intentional as we can with that. I mean, a lot of the time we advertise you don't need chalk with our grips, which again is totally true if you have a smooth, galvanized or smooth coated bar.
Hmm.
You won't need chalk, but as soon as there's a little bit of chalk on the bar, or the bar's super rough, then you're probably going to have to add some. And so you can be as intentional with their design as you want, but the actual practical application to it, is a different story.
Yeah. So I have one other question about the grips. So obviously, like, starting out, you must have had some pain points. For me, with my t-shirt company, it was, when do I actually like start? And like, when do I actually like publish it? Like, start my own shirt and then go for it. And then I realized I'm like, me just dicking around is not gonna help me sell shirts. So I'll just like start now. And so, what was like the beginning phases for your company?
Yeah, so it started with, it was always going to be gymnastics grips. That was always going to be the first product. We started with, 10 gymnastics grips, 5 gymnastics grips, 3, and just going through the testing process, finalize some designs, change the molds, change this, change that, change the design, all this kind of stuff. We're going in circles constantly. And then we kind of just got to the point where, okay, well, we think we've got it. Let's send it out to loads of athletes. Again, we took on the feedback, recycled that process until we were at a point where, yeah, we really think this is the best product on the market. We've got nothing to hide. Like, let's just help there. And yeah, so that happened about a year ago now.
Awesome. That's awesome. And so, how are you liking being I hate this word, but an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I've never actually, no one's ever described me as an entrepreneur until now. So again, like I'm not, I technically am, but my business partner, she runs the whole show. So yeah, she would know numbers, she would know figures, she would know footfall, she would know everything.
Hmm.
I'm just kind of the guy that's, yeah, this is a good product, or no, this needs changing, or let's move in this direction, let's move in that direction. But she runs everything.
Yeah, I hate that word entrepreneur because everyone wants to supposedly be one, and it's like the new cool word, and it's just like I just want to run a decent business. Like, that's all I care. Like, I don't care about that word whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. And people selling courses now, right, on how to be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, and yeah, it's a strange world.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know, and they don't even have a big following. It's just like they got like a couple thousand followers on Instagram, and they're like, hey, take my course on how to be a great entrepreneur. It's just like, it's all pretty
Yeah,
much like it's all for show.
yeah. There's no entry point to it, right? Like you could have a 4-year-old entrepreneur. She sells you so it's definitely maybe an overused word. But I wouldn't describe myself as an entrepreneur. Maybe when we start taking some money from the business, I can call myself that.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that.
Yeah, everything we get right now is going back into it. So yeah,
Yeah. So if you don't want me asking like
check my
numbers,
internet. Sorry.
oh, you're good. So
Cool.
if you don't mind like talk about numbers. So if you want to don't want to talk about it, we can always take it out too. So like, what was the initial like payment for starting this company for you?
Yeah, so I'll have to double check my partner. I'm happy to talk about it. Maybe she'll maybe take it out. But so yeah, so we, again, during the whole COVID, it kind of came at a perfect time, right? Of also launching a business, because our government was giving out loans left, right, and centre initially, but we were kind of late on that bandwagon. So the goal in mind was basically to get 35 grand to launch this business,
Wow.
which yeah, yeah. So we took out some big government loans each, and then we got some basically some family loans that we paying back, or we gave equity to. And so yeah, that was our launch. We then put a crazy stupid order in, which we massively overestimated. And yeah, so again, like, it was one of those situations where we probably we bit off way more than we could chew to start with. But we could only see it as a positive, because it just meant okay, well, we've done this. Let's dig ourselves out there. No, it wasn't a hole at the time. It was just stressful, I guess.
Hmm.
And it was just, yeah, like, this is actually real. Like, we're now accountable to this money. Like,
Yep.
this is people's money. We've got investors. We've got loans we need to pay off. We've got customers we need to manage, X, Y, and Z. And again, from my background, like, I still don't know a lot about kind of the bigger picture business stuff, like the immediate kind of forward facing stuff I see, but having the scope to look at a brand 3, 5, 10 years down the line, I still struggle with. And yeah, it's definitely a good experience, but we have to get that. Yeah. So going back to that, kind of going down all these avenues,
No,
going
you're
back to,
good.
yeah, it it was 35 grand. We got we then put a big order in, and then we've pretty much made profit each month, which is pretty insane. Like, we weren't really expecting to make any profit in the first year. Just see everything is we're giving out to get back 10 years down the line or 5 years down the line. But it just seems to be successful, and that's credit to just the product, really.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. So, do you plan on like expanding like your social media platforms to like other like YouTube or anything like that with this company?
Yeah, it's a good question, that, because I wish we could. I wish we'd had the time to, be super vigilant on our Instagram and post daily, and same with Facebook, same with Twitter, same with YouTube, create videos, get athletes behind us, all this kind of stuff. But when there's only two people running the show,
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
coaching, yeah, my business partner's got a full-time job anyway. She runs online. I've got my coaching, my university, my training, all this kind of stuff. So it's, with the time we've got, we're trying to be resourceful. But there's, you kind of, whatever's best, like biggest bang for your buck kind of thing. And right now, Amazon and just managing the Instagram seems to be the two biggest factors. Like, I would love to in the future have a YouTube channel, where we're going around getting gym members experiences and athletes experiences and sponsoring competitions. And but right now, just managing the Instagram is hard enough for me.
No, I hear you. Same here, same here. But I kind of want to go back on like the inventory that you got. So when you first saw all that inventory, where you're like, "Holy shit, this is real."
Yeah, I didn't. It's easy to talk about numbers, and then it's such a foggy time, in the sense of I just was going with the flow. It's very much like, not that I didn't want to take responsibility, but I was very much just sole trust in my partner to do the right thing. And she got over, while I was developing products for kind of 18 months, she was just doing all the market research for 18 months and came to this calculation. And we were like, well, based on the data, this is the best decision. And so yeah, we went for it. So it wasn't too much of a shock, and yeah, that was what it was. And I mean, looking back now, like, placing that order again would be madness. But yeah, it's an interesting time right now with kind of world economics and shipping things across, getting things developed, and everything keeps on going up in price. So maybe it would be better to again put it in a big order. But at that time, that was to our knowledge, the best thing we could have done.
Hmm. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So I have a couple rapid fire questions, but they're not really rapid fire. So you can kind of take as long as you want on these questions. Do you have any
All right,
goals?
yeah.
Do you have any goals for the rest of the year? It could be like business wise or personal wise or and pretty much anything.
The year, yeah. So semi-finals this year. Um, that's the personal. That's probably the biggest personal goal I have right now.
Hmm.
I think you may have cut. Are you still with me? You cut
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still here.
No, you're still with me. Cool.
Yep.
Uh, it's just the internet seems to be playing up. But okay, yeah. So semi-finals, personal goal. Business would just basically be have a successful Amazon launch in the US. The UK market in comparison to the US market is just two different beasts. Kind of underestimate just how American business is, and so to have a kind of even a small piece of the pie in America would be huge for us. Yeah, and then just finish my degree just to get off the list. But yeah, other than that, I'm settled.
Yeah. So once you graduate from your degree of strength and conditioning, are you looking to go into that path, or are you looking just to work for your full time for now on?
Yeah, I like my own schedule, so probably not. I mean, the traditional route of S&C is basically you finish your degree and then you go get an intern job, just getting paid nothing,
Hmm.
working with the team. And I'm a bit of a late bloomer with university. I'm 23 now. A lot of people finish university at 20, 21. Which, at a different time, maybe 2 years ago, I'd be interested in that. But having my own business, having things I want to do, I don't want to live in the UK forever. Um, so yeah, I want to kind of finish the degree, compete in CrossFit, and go abroad, I think.
Okay. Whereabouts? What are some of the options that you're looking into to kind of move to?
Yeah, so a big a big draw for us is Portugal,
Okay.
which I'm not sure if you know much about, but it's kind of a very cheap European country to live in, and it's got its tax benefits too. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Not Australia or anything like that.
Yeah, maybe it's just so far. I mean, I
Yeah,
like
true.
it. Yeah, I do like it, but yeah, and with the whole visa, it's a lot simpler to get a visa for Portugal than it is Australia.
Okay. All right. So do you have a favorite book?
A favorite book? Uh, it's a good question. I think actually, *Sapiens* by Bill Bryson. No, it's not Bill Bryson. Who's it by? Let me check. *Sapiens* book. I just finished it recently.
So what is it about?
A brief history of humankind. So it kind of goes from the origin to now, basically. But yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Okay, very cool. I'll
Yeah.
definitely check that out. So, um, what is in your gym bag?
What's in my gym bag? Um,
4-time gymnastic grips.
yeah, 4-time gymnastic grips, number one. Um, and then carbs, number two, really. I don't actually have a very busy gym bag. It's just knee sleeves, gymnastics grips, and carbs, really.
Do you know wear lifters or anything like that?
No, not really. I did last time I wore them was I maybe pull them out once a year for a max lift, if only if it's in a competition. In training, I won't really ever wear them.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, my old knees kind of need them, so I need to get like at least a little bit more depth into my when I catch the squat or the snatch or something like that. So I have to wear lifters like a good amount of times, and there's times I'm like, I have a feeling I'm gonna get handicapped with this stuff. So if I use regular sneakers and all that stuff, I'm gonna get screwed.
Yeah, every now and then, like bouncing out the bottom of a squat, my knees give me a bit of a scream, but otherwise I'm all good.
Yeah. I mean, you're 23. You should be fine. Just wait till you turn like
Yeah,
30. Wait till you get into like the 35 range, and then you'll start feeling the stuff.
yeah, but weights are heavy.
Yeah. So I forgot to ask you. So what are your numbers for like clean and jerk, snatch?
I'm just trying to do the pound conversion
You could do
for
you could
you.
do you could do kilos. It's all good.
So snatch, I actually posted that today on my story. I realized 2 years ago I snatched 140 kilos, so 308.
Damn.
Um, and then clean this year in the quarterfinals. That was 186 kilos, so that was 410, 409.
That's insane.
Um, and then clean and jerk or jerk is probably around 375, 380.
Now, how tall are you?
I'm 5'11". I never made the 6 foot.
So my thing is, so everyone, all my listeners know I'm like 6'6".
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm like
Jeez.
214, 220, roughly around. I kind of teeter around that. And so yeah, I think my max clean and jerk was 320, and this was like last year. And so then my snatch was like 240, and it was a power snatch. And then like back squat, I suck at deadlifts. I don't even
Oh,
want to.
geez.
Yeah, deadlifts I don't even want to touch because my back just gets thrown out because it takes forever for me to get up.
Yeah, it's a long way to go.
Yeah, but it's not bad. I'll take those numbers at 40, 42. So
Yeah, I'll be out by then. I'll be in a wheelchair, I'm sure. CrossFit
nah,
would have ruined me.
yeah. I mean, but I've been doing it for 12 years, so I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good. So hopefully
Yeah.
I want to get to like 330 on a clean and jerk. Hopefully by like next year, and and maybe like a 250 snatch, and then I'll be happy. And I'll be like, okay, no more 1 rep maxes or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Lifting. I think it seems to be a big focus point for people. Like I know a lot of people that have basically got into CrossFit and have spent 3 years just weightlifting and finishing with neck on or finishing with a workout. But yeah, it kind of bores me. It not bores me, but like I think if I wanted to get any better at lifting, kind of those progressions just gonna suck. So I'd much rather just get fitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And like my thing is, it's like, okay, I've hit like 300 and then like, I always want to go up higher and higher and higher. And it's like, when is there like a happy number for me to stop?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I don't know if there'll ever be.
Yeah.
Especially when you got some egos in the gym that kind of are constantly giving you chat, and have to keep the boys in check around here. Make sure they know what's up.
Yeah. So the funny thing is when I hit 315 for the first time, I was like in a gym. There's it's a kind of like a global gym. It's not a box that I lift weights in. And so like all the teenagers were like, doing their bro splits and stuff like that. They all stopped and just, you could feel when people are like watching you and you're like, okay, I have to hit this. Like everyone's literally watching me do this lift. And so I caught it and then I put it over my head and I was happy. And like all the teenagers were like, holy shit, this is like unreal. Cause like, I don't think anybody's like lifted that much weight at this gym.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Those are the best videos, right? You see those videos on Instagram of it's usually women in globo gyms just like maxing out and just everyone's there, just mind blowing.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the questions. So this one's a little deep. So let's just say, this is your last day on earth. You have all your friends and family around you. How do you want people to know you as?
Oh, so kind of like my legacy. What legacy would I like to leave?
Mhm.
What legacy would I like to leave? I don't know. I kind of this is something that goes through my head quite a lot often actually. I often think like just like will I ever be kind of not significant, but just like never remembered kind of thing. So what my legacy would be? Yeah, not CrossFit, hopefully. Just someone who, oh, I just like to know a lot of things. I'm interested in a lot of things. There's no single avenue that like I'm super specialized in. I'm actually listening to a book at the moment, which is kind of talking about this called Range, and basically the benefits of being a generalist in a specialist world. And so maybe that's it, right? Like I'd like to be that person that someone you could ask any question to, and like
Mhm.
they're roughly going to know something on that. So maybe that, I don't know if that is something you could leave behind, but maybe that.
Yeah, I think my legacy is going to be useless knowledge, useless dad knowledge, because like I
Yeah,
know the most random things, but then it comes to like something important, I'll completely forget about it.
yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah, I'd like to know facts on dolphins and whales, but like I couldn't put up a shelf or something like. Like
Yep,
yeah.
yep, yep. Same with me. So, all right, cool. So, where can people reach out to you if they have any questions about your grips? The box that you coach at, or pretty much like anything else. They have a question for.
Yeah, so my Instagram is at Toby underscore Buckland, Buckland. Reach out to me on there, or my business's Instagram, which is 4Time UK at 4Time UK. Yeah, I wish I could say that I get filled with messages and my inbox is always full, but if one message comes in a week, I'm sure I'll see it. So yeah, they can reach out to me there if they'd like to have a chat.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show, especially like being from across the pond, and I'm sorry I had to reschedule it, to this, to today. So, but yeah, thank you for taking the time. Love hearing your story about you being a diabetic, your business and all that stuff. Cause I always like hearing the business side of stuff too. And yeah, and I appreciate everything, you've told me today.
Cheers, thanks for having me on. It was good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.